Introduction: a practitioner devotes oneself to rigorous practice in accordance with the Buddha's teachings. Through sustained discipline, insight deepens, and the profound meaning of the scriptures becomes clearer. Yet no matter how refined one's understanding may be, the fear of death rising from the depths of the unconscious does not easily disappear. Death, however, is not a concern exclusive to practitioners. It is a universal contemplation for all sentient beings, those who witness the passing of parents and loved ones, and who must one day face their own death. Therefore, rather than postponing or avoiding death, wisdom lies in preparing, here and now, for how to meet it and transcend it. How a practitioner faces death: impermanence, non-self, mindfulness, compassion, and meditative stability. Where does the suffering associated with death arise? It emerges from physical pain caused by illness and aging, from mental confusion born of the fear, I am disappearing, and from habitual karmic patterns accumulated over a lifetime, which surge forth from the unconscious. These habits, usually hidden, become powerfully activated at the threshold of death, intensifying fear and attachment. A practitioner does not evade this suffering, but directly confronts it. Through contemplation of impermanence, life is seen as a continuous flow of fleeting moments. Death is no longer an exceptional event, but one transformation among countless others. Through contemplation of non-self, the notion of the one who dies is seen as a mere construct, dissolving the fear produced by attachment to an imagined self. When right mindfulness is cultivated daily, treating each moment as a small rehearsal of death, dying becomes not a sudden rupture, but a prepared arrival. When death is further embraced as an act of compassion and dedication, it ceases to be my end, and becomes a gift returned to all beings. The power of meditative stability supports this process, allowing body and mind to cross the threshold of death without disturbance. Thus, for the practitioner, death is no longer an unavoidable agony, but the final gate of practice and liberation. Methods for dedicating death: dedicate subtle deaths, each day, falling asleep, the end of conversations, emotional transitions, vowing, may the merit of this day be offered to all beings. After chanting or recitation, briefly recite a verse of dedication, as is customary in Buddhist ritual. Refrain from grasping death as mine, cultivate direct awareness of dependent origination and impermanent flow, even with the final breath. Maintain the intention of offering merit to all existent. Encourage surviving family members to make sincere dedications, allowing death itself to become a teaching, for example, through social donation of the deceased's assets or acts of generosity connected to their life. How ordinary beings face death: opening the gate to the Pure Land. While alive, Buddhism teaches that after death, beings remain in an intermediate state for 49 days before continuing in the cycle of rebirth. It is also taught that sincerely invoking the name of Amitabha Buddha even 10 times can lead to rebirth in the Pure Land. The Ksātagarbha Sutra further explains that the merit of recitation performed by surviving family members may aid the deceased in reaching a purified realm. But where is the Pure Land truly located, and how is its gate open? In the Vimalakirti Sutra, chapter, The Buddha Land, Vimalakirti declares, when the mind with which a bodhisattva guides beings is pure, that very mind is the Buddha's land. When the mind is pure, the land is pure. The Buddha land is not elsewhere, it is within this very mind. This teaching reveals that the Pure Land is not a distant realm in the western direction, but a world that opens whenever the mind is purified, here and now. Ultimately, Amitabha's Pure Land and Vimalakirti's Buddha Land are not two. If Amitabha's Pure Land appears as an external realm, Vimalakirti's Buddha Land is its inner realization. The practitioner unites these two into a single truth. Do not attempt to purify the world, purify the mind. The mind itself is the land, and the land is nothing other than the mind. Thus, the Pure Land is not merely a destination after death. It opens in the very moment a pure mind arises, in the instant compassion comes into action. The gate to the Pure Land must be opened while alive. One must not cling solely to a vague hope of a post-mortem paradise. Here and now, one must already seek, knock upon, and open that gate. Reciting the name of Amitabha and contemplating the Pure Land are not rituals aimed only at the afterlife. They cultivate the power to transcend death while still living. This very mind becomes the golden key that opens the Pure Land in life. Conclusion: the suffering of death ultimately arises from attachment to the notion of I, and its accumulated traces. Practitioners transcend this through insight and disciplined practice, ordinary beings approach it through faith and recitation. Though these paths appear different, they converge upon the same truth. Life is not defined by being born and then dying. It flows continuously, like a river, moment after moment. Death, too, is merely one instant within that flow. Therefore, death is not a shadow of fear, but the final lesson, the moment of opening the gate and stepping into the Pure Land.